Good day, everyone. My name is Sandra Pearl C. Saavedra, and I am a civil engineer currently working in the government sector. I decided to pursue a master's degree in public administration because through my work in government, I realized that technical knowledge in engineering is only one part of public service. I want to gain a deeper understanding of leadership, management, policy implementation, and public governance so that I can serve the community more effectively. I believe that this program will help me grow both professionally and personally and equip me with the skills needed to become a more competent and responsible public servant. Let us now proceed to my chosen topic for this presentation: psychological theories and governance application and case studies on public sector behavior. Introduction. Public administration is not only about laws, policies, and procedures. It is also about people, their thoughts, emotions, motivations, attitudes, and behaviors. Government employees, leaders, and citizens all influence how public institutions function. This is where psychology becomes important in governance. Psychological theories provide insights into human behavior and help explain why public officials make certain decisions, how employees perform, and how citizens respond to government programs. Applying psychology in governance improves leadership, employee welfare, organizational effectiveness, and public service delivery. Understanding psychological theories in governance. Psychological theories are systematic explanations of how people think, feel, behave, and make decisions. They help us understand the factors that influence individual and group behavior in organizations and society. By studying these theories, we gain valuable insights into what motivates people, how they respond to different situations, and why they behave in a certain ways. In public administration, governance is not only about creating laws, policies, and regulations. It is also about managing people effectively. Government leaders, public employees, and citizens all play important roles in the success of public programs and services. Therefore, understanding human behavior is essential for achieving effective and responsive governance. Psychological theories provide a scientific foundation for understanding employee motivation, leadership, decision-making, communication, and organizational behavior. They help government agencies create productive workplaces, strengthen leadership, improve employee performance, and encourage citizens to actively participate in government programs. In governance, these theories assist policymakers and public managers by understanding employee behavior and motivation, improving leadership effectiveness and management practices, enhancing the quality and efficiency of public service delivery, designing policies that consider how people think and behave, managing organizational change more effectively, and encouraging greater citizen participation and public trust in government. By applying psychological principles, government organizations can build a more motivated workforce, develop effective leaders, implement successful reforms, and deliver better services that meet the needs of the public. Major psychological theories and their applications in governance. These theories provide valuable insights into employee motivation, leadership, decision-making, organizational behavior, and change management. By understanding these theories, government leaders and public managers can develop effective strategies to improve employees' performance, strengthen organization, and deliver better public services. The first theory is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, developed by Abraham Maslow in 1943. Maslow believed that people are motivated by different levels of needs, starting from basic needs and progressing toward personal growth. These needs include physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization. Maslow's hierarchy of needs explains that people are motivated by different types of needs. According to Abraham Maslow, individuals tend to satisfy lower level needs before they focus on higher level needs. This theory is widely applied in public administration and human resource management to understand employee motivation and improve workplace performance. Number one, physiological needs. Physiological needs are the most basic human needs that are necessary for survival. These include food, water, and adequate income or salary. In the workplace, employees need fair compensation so they can provide for their basic daily needs. If these needs are not met, it becomes difficult for employees to stay motivated and productive. Number two, safety needs. Once basic needs are satisfied, people seek safety and security. In government organizations, this includes job security, health insurance, and a safe working environment. Employees who feel secure are more likely to perform their duties confidently and remain committed to their organization. Number three, social needs. The third level focuses on social relationships. People want to feel accepted, valued, and connected with others. In the workplace, this can be achieved through friendship, teamwork, good communication, and a sense of belonging. Positive relationships among employees improve cooperation and overall organizational performance. Number four is team needs. After social needs are fulfilled, individuals seek recognition and respect. Employees want their hard work to be appreciated through recognition, promotions, or awards. Meeting these needs increase confidence, motivation, and job satisfaction, encouraging employees to perform at their best. Number five, self-actualization. The highest level is self-actualization, which refers to achieving one's full potential. Employees are motivated by opportunities for personal growth, creativity, learning new skills, and taking on meaningful responsibilities. Organizations can support this by providing training, career developments, and opportunities for innovation. Maslow's hierarchy of needs shows that employee motivation is influenced by different levels of needs. When government organizations meet these needs, from providing fair salaries and job security to recognizing achievements and supporting personal growth, they create a motivated workforce that delivers better public service. Another important psychological theory is Herzberg's two-factor theory, developed by psychologist Frederick Herzberg. He explained that employee satisfaction and dissatisfaction are influenced by two different sets of factors, the hygiene factors and motivators. Understanding these factors help government organizations improve employee performance and job satisfaction. Hygiene factors. These factors do not necessarily motivate employees to perform better, but they help prevent dissatisfaction. If these basic conditions are missing or inadequate, employees may become unhappy or less productive. Examples of hygiene factors include salary, working conditions, job security, organizational policies, and supervision. Motivators. Unlike hygiene factors, motivators create job satisfaction and encourage employees to perform at a higher level. These factors are related to the work itself and help employees feel accomplished and fulfilled. Examples include achievement, recognition, responsibility, opportunities for advancement, and personal growth. Herzberg's two-factor theory teaches us that organizations must address both types of factors. Hygiene factors prevent employee dissatisfaction, while motivators encourage employees to excel. In government agencies, Providing fair and working conditions together with opportunities for recognition, career advancement, and personal growth can lead to higher employee satisfaction, better performance, and improved public service. Our next theory is MacGregor's Theory X and Theory Y, was developed by Douglas MacGregor in 1960. This theory explains different assumptions that managers may have about their employees. These assumptions influence how managers lead and supervise their teams. Theory X assumes that employees naturally dislike work, avoid responsibility, and need constant supervision to perform their tasks. Because managers believe employees are unwilling to work on their own, they tend to use an authoritarian leadership style. This means managers closely monitor employees, give strict instructions, make most of the decisions, and rely on rules, discipline, and sometimes punishment to ensure work is completed. Theory Y. In contrast, Theory Y assumes that employees enjoy their work, are self-motivated, seek responsibility, and are capable of being creative and solving problems. Managers who follow this approach use a participative leadership style where employees are encouraged to share ideas, participate in decision making, and take responsibility for their work. This leadership style promotes trust, collaboration, innovation, and higher employee motivation. In public administration, Theory Y is generally considered more effective because government employees who are trusted, empowered, and involved in decision making are often more motivated and committed to providing quality public service. However, Theory X may still be appropriate in certain situations, such as during emergencies or when dealing with employees who require close supervision to ensure that important tasks are completed correctly and on time. Example, instead of strictly directing employees, a city mayor allows department heads to participate in decision making. This leads to greater innovation, improved morale, better problem solving. Another theory is behavioral theory. Behavioral theory is mainly associated with B.F. Skinner and Ivan Pavlov. This theory focuses on how behavior is learned and influenced by the environment. It states that people are more likely to repeat behaviors that are rewarded and avoid behaviors that lead to punishment or negative consequences. In the workplace, this means that employees are motivated by the consequences of their actions. When good performance is recognized and rewarded, employees are encouraged to continue performing well. On the other hand, when inappropriate behavior has negative consequences, employees are less likely to repeat it. In public administration, behavioral theory is applied to encourage desirable employee behavior and improve organizational performance. Government agencies use different types of reinforcement to motivate employees. Positive reinforcement means rewarding employees for demonstrating good performance or desirable behavior. Example include giving performance incentives, employee awards, promotions, or public recognition. These rewards encourage employees to continue performing well because they know their efforts are appreciated. Negative reinforcement means removing an unpleasant condition when employees demonstrate good performance. It is important to note that this is not punishment. Instead, employees who consistently perform well may receive reduced supervision, greater independence, or more flexibility because they have already earned their manager's trust. For example, a local government provides performance bonuses to employees with excellent attendance. Because employees know that they will receive a reward for maintaining good attendance, they are more motivated to report to work regularly. As a result, absenteeism decreases, employee performance improves, and the government office becomes more productive and efficient. Next theory is cognitive theory. Cognitive theory is mainly associated with Jean Piaget and Albert Bandura. This theory explains that a person's behavior is influenced by how they think, perceive, and process information. Rather than simply reacting to situations, people analyze information, use their past experiences, consider their beliefs and expectations, and then make decisions. According to cognitive theory, decision making depends on several factors, including a person's perceptions, beliefs, experiences, and expectations. These mental processes help individuals evaluate situations and choose the most appropriate course of action. In public administration, cognitive theory is important because government officials make decisions that affect the public every day. They use cognitive processes when developing policies, solving problems, evaluating different alternatives, and deciding on the best solutions for public issues. Government agencies also conduct training programs to improve employees' critical thinking, analytical skills, and decision making abilities so they can perform their duties more effectively. For example, before implementing a flood control project, engineers do not immediately begin construction. They first analyze technical data, study flood risk, assess environmental conditions, evaluate different design alternatives, and consider the available budget and resources. After carefully comparing these factors, they select the most effective and practical solution. This is an example of cognitive decision making because the decision is based on careful analysis and logical thinking rather than guesswork. Next theory is social learning theory, was developed by Albert Bandura. This theory explains that people learn not only through their own experiences but also by observing the behavior of others. Individuals watch how others act, notice the consequences of those actions, and then decide whether to imitate the same behavior. According to this theory, behavior is acquired through observation, imitation, and modeling. This means that people are more likely to copy the actions of individuals they respect, admire, or see as authority figures such as supervisors, managers, or government leaders. In public administration, social learning theory is especially important because employees often look to their leaders as role models. If leaders consistently demonstrate honesty, integrity, professionalism, transparency, and accountability, employees are more likely to adopt these same values and behaviors. This helps create an ethical and positive workplace culture. On the other hand, if leaders engage in corruption, favoritism, or other unethical practices, employees may believe that such behavior is acceptable and begin to imitate it. This can weaken public trust and reduce the effectiveness of government institutions. For example, if agency leaders consistently demonstrate honesty, professionalism, and fairness in their daily work, employees are more likely to exhibit the same behaviors. However, if leaders abuse their authority or engage in corrupt practices, employees may imitate those actions, resulting in unethical behavior throughout the organization. Lastly is the Lewin's change theory. Lewin's change theory was developed by Kurt Lewin. This theory explains how organizations can successfully implement change. It states that change is not a single event but a process that happens in three stages: unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. The first stage is unfreezing. In this stage, employees are prepared for change by helping them understand why it is necessary. Leaders communicate the reasons for the change, address employees' concerns, and provide orientations or training to reduce resistance and build support. The second stage is changing. This is where the new system, policy, or process is introduced. Employees begin learning new skills, adapting to new procedures, and applying the changes in their daily work. During this stage, leaders provide guidance, training, and technical support to help employees adjust successfully. The final stage is refreezing. Once employees have accepted the change, the new practices become part of the organization's normal operation. Policies, procedures, and work routines are updated so the improvements become permanent and employees no longer return to the old way of working. In public administration, Lewin's change theory is widely used when governments implement reforms. Examples include digital transformation, organizational restructuring, and civil service reforms. The theory helps governments agencies manage change effectively while minimizing employee resistance and ensuring that reforms are successfully adopted. Applications of psychology in governance. Psychological principles are widely applied in public administration because government organizations deal with people every day: employees, leaders, and citizens. By understanding human behavior, government agencies can improve leadership, employee performance, decision making, and public service delivery. The first application is leadership. Effective leaders understand what motivates employees and how people behave in different situations. Psychological knowledge helps leaders communicate effectively, inspire employees to perform their best, manage workplace conflicts, build trust among team members, and encourage teamwork. As a result, employees become more motivated, productive, and committed to achieving organizational goals. The second application is human resource management. Psychology helps HR professionals recruit and select qualified employees by assessing their skills, abilities, and personalities. It also supports performance appraisal by evaluating employee performance fairly and objectively. In addition, psychology guides training and development programs that help employees improve their knowledge, skills, and compe- competencies, leading to better job performance. The third application is public policy formulation. Understanding how citizens think, make decisions, and respond to government programs allows policymakers to design more effective policies. For example, psychological principles are used in vaccination campaigns to encourage people to get vaccinated. In disaster preparedness, programs to motivate communities to prepare for emergencies. And in tax compliance, initiatives to encourage citizens to pay taxes voluntarily. When policies consider human behavior, they are more likely to achieve their intended outcomes. The fourth application is organizational development. Psychological principles help improve communication between employees and management, strengthen teamwork, increase employee engagement, and build a positive organizational culture. A healthy work environment improves collaboration, boosts morale, and enables agencies to deliver better public services. The fifth application is ethics and integrity. Psychology helps explain why people behave ethically or unethically in the workplace. Government agencies use ethics training to promote values such as honesty, accountability, fairness, and transparency. By strengthening ethical behavior and reducing opportunities for misconduct or corruption, psychology contributes to greater public trust and more responsible governance. Case studies on public sector behavior. Case study number 1. Employee motivation in government service. This case study is about employee motivation in government service. Many government employees experience low morale because they have limited opportunities for promotion. When employees feel that they have little chance for career advancement, they may become less motivated, less engaged, and less productive at work. This situation can be explained using Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Herzberg's two-factor theory. According to Maslow, once employees' basic needs such as salary and job security are met, they begin to seek higher level needs like recognition, achievement, and personal growth. If these needs are not fulfilled, motivation decreases. Similarly, Herzberg explains that while salary and working conditions help prevent dissatisfaction, employees become truly motivated when they receive recognition, opportunities for achievement, increased responsibility, and career advancement. To address this problem, the government agency introduced recognition programs, skills training, and career development plans. Recognition programs acknowledge employees' good performance, making them feel valued. Skills training helps them develop new knowledge and competencies, while career development plans provided clear opportunities for professional growth and future promotion. As a result, employee satisfaction increased. Motivated employees became more committed to their work, leading to higher productivity and lower absenteeism. This case demonstrates that supporting employees' psychological and professional needs can improve both individual performance and the overall effectiveness of government organizations. Case study number 2. Digital transformation in government. Situation. A local government implemented an online permit application system. Initially, employees resisted the change. This case study focuses on digital transformation in government. A local government introduced an online permit application system to make the permit process faster, more efficient, and more convenient for the public. However, when the new system was first introduced, many employees resisted the change. They were unfamiliar with the technology, worried about learning a new system, and preferred the traditional way of processing permits. This situation can be explained using Lewin's change theory, which states that the organizational change occurs in three stages: unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. In the unfreezing stage, employees are prepared to understand why change is necessary. During the changing stage, they learn and adapt to the new way of working. Finally, in the refreezing stage, the new system becomes part of their normal work routine. To help employees adjust, the local government conducted orientations to explain the purpose and benefits of the online system, provided training so employees could learn how to use it effectively, and offered technical support to assist them whenever they encountered difficulties. As a result, employees gradually accepted the new system and became more confident in using it. This led to faster permit processing, more efficient government services, reduced paperwork, and improved service delivery to the public. This case shows that successful digital transformation depends not only on technology but also on properly managing people through the change process. Case study number 3. Ethical leadership in public office. Situation: a government office experienced issues of favoritism and unethical practices. This case study is about ethical leadership in a government office. The office was experiencing problems such as favoritism and unethical practices which negatively affected employee morale, fairness, and public trust. When employees see unfair treatment or unethical behavior, they may lose confidence in their leaders and become less committed to their work. This situation can be explained using social learning theory, which states that people learn by observing and imitating the behavior of others, especially those in positions of authority. In the workplace, employees often look to their leaders as models. If leaders demonstrate ethical behavior, employees are more likely to follow their example. To address the problem, the new leaders promoted transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct in all government transactions and decision making. More importantly, they practice these values consistently, showing honesty, fairness, and integrity in their own actions. By leading through example, they encourage employees to adopt the same ethical standards. As a result, employees became more compliant with ethical standards, favoritism decreased, and workplace trust improved. This case demonstrated that ethical leadership plays a vital role in creating a culture of integrity, fairness, and accountability in public service, ultimately strengthening both employee confidence and public trust in government. Case study number 4. Disaster response during emergencies. Situation: government employees had to respond rapidly during natural disasters. This case study focuses on disaster response during emergencies. During natural disasters such as typhoons, floods, or earthquakes, government employees must respond quickly to protect lives, property, and communities. Since emergencies require immediate action, officials must make accurate decisions even under pressure. This situation is explained by cognitive theory, which emphasizes how people think, process information, solve problems, and make decisions. According to this theory, effective decision making depends on gathering relevant information, analyzing it carefully, and choosing the best course of action. In this case, government officials analyze risk information, weather forecasts, and available resources, such as rescue personnel, emergency vehicles, medical supplies, and evacuation centers. By evaluating this information, they were able to determine the areas most at risk, prioritize emergency operations, and allocate resources where they were needed most. As a result, better decision making improved the effectiveness of disaster response. Emergency operations became more organized and efficient. Assistance reached affected communities more quickly, and the government was better able to protect lives and reduce the impact of the disaster. This case demonstrates that careful thinking and informed decision making are essentials for effective emergency management in the public sector. Importance of psychological theories in public administration. Psychological theories play a significant role in public administration because government organizations are people-centered. These theories help public administrators understand how employees think, behave, and respond to different situations, allowing leaders to create a more productive and effective workplace. First, psychological theories improve employee motivation by helping managers understand what encourages employees to perform well, such as recognition, opportunities for growth, and meaningful work. Second, they enhance leadership effectiveness by guiding leaders on how to communicate, motivate, and influence employees positively while building trust and teamwork. Third, they promote ethical behavior by encouraging leaders to become role models who demonstrate honesty, integrity, transparency, and accountability, which employees are more likely to follow. Fourth, they improve decision making by helping public officials analyze information, evaluate possible solutions, and make rational decisions, especially during emergencies or complex situations. Fifth, psychological theories strengthen organizational performance because motivated employees, effective leaders, and sound decision making contribute to higher productivity, better teamwork, and improved public services. Sixth, they increase citizen satisfaction by helping government employees provide services that are responsive, efficient, respectful, and focused on the needs of the public. Finally, psychological theories support the successful implementation of reforms. Understanding how people react to change enables government organizations to manage resistance, encourage employee participation, and ensure that new policies, technologies, or programs are successfully adopted. Overall, psychological theories help government organizations understand human behavior, improve employee performance, strengthen leadership, and deliver more effective, ethical, and citizen-centered public services. Conclusion: psychological theories provide valuable insights into human behavior within public organizations. Understanding motivation, learning, leadership, cognition, and organizational change enables public administrators to manage employees effectively and deliver quality public services. Applying psychological principles in governance leads to more responsive, ethical, efficient, and citizen centered public institutions.